come in some more.
They was never willing to work with me for real.
Nobody
They were like, oh, we ain't. It's just like, oh, okay, damn, all right, y'all go ahead, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, I used to like seeing, man, that shit look like, yeah, for sure. The West Coast versus East Coast probably did cover a lot of the 90s, or the better part of the latter part of the 90s, especially like leading in like Pac and the Biggie situation. But going into the early 2000s, it did kind of shift from West Coast into like East Coast-ish. Because, you know, once like Pac really wasn't, you know, an extreme, or once he, you know, he was no longer here, it was just like Snoop and like, you know, NWA was kind of done, or they were done. Ice Cube was like, yeah. Damn, you only had, on the West Coast, you had like Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg. But this is like the newer age of rap where you had like Nas and Jay-Z and Big Pun and Busta and Fat Joe. I think that this was a good time for them because it's like, oh, this is our lane is open. Because from the late 2000s to like or late 90s to the early 2000s was like a big time for them. And Diddy.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Because
I didn't want to say it, but
no, I'll give him his credit.
he's a big part of the 90s.
Yeah, that's why there's a lot of people that's quiet right now.
Yeah,
because it's like it was a lot of doors. Like on the professional side of it was a lot of doors that people just wouldn't have walked through, or wouldn't even have been there to like, or if it wasn't for like somebody like that. Because it always has to be like something like a key holder, or you know, somebody in position necessarily. You know, so but yeah, it was a lot of artists that came through him. So but all them artists I know they've been real quiet. I ain't seen no tell-all books. I ain't seen no podcasts, no interviews. they probably sitting at home like, oh, you know, don't give me a subpoena. I'm not a witness. I'm not talking in this case. Oh man, that's gonna be a hell of a 50 part. That's gonna be a hell of a part. Okay, but. I mean, you had so many. You had Mace, you had Cameron, Dipset. 50 was probably the most mainstream out of all of them because his sound was just more like
What they were looking for.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, hit for hit, I don't know. I couldn't name 10 50 Cent songs.
No, definitely not 10.
I remember when him and The Game were like cool.
Is anybody really cool with him?
That's the thing too. You had the whole Ja Rule 50. You had the 50 and Kanye, and then 50 was with The Game, and then him and The Game got into it, and then 50 and 50. I think it was an album called 50 versus 50 or 50 versus Kurt. It's like you're your own worst enemy. I don't know what to say.
That's what I said. Is anybody really friends with him?
No. But that's usually the way of the businessman. Like, they're usually not friends with many people, or they're not friends with any. They're friends with the dollar.
Pretty much.
And because he went from, and he's a savvy businessman, from vitamin water, from beefing with Ye to vitamin water to he's smart.
50 is not an upstanding citizen. He's a terrorist.
He's a terrorist. He's 6'9".
I didn't even know he was 6'9". That's insane.
No. I apologize. That would be scary than a.
Yeah.
No. He's like Tentacion, like 6'6", or 6'9". You know, the rainbow.
Okay,
you know,
okay.
he's a troll.
He is a troll.
He's a troll. Like, he damn near sells his music by trolling.
That's what I said. Like, that's the only way he keeps relevant.
And it's like I'm not trying to shade him because he had to do some work, but it's also just like I feel like it's some artists that we need to make a list of these type of artists that almost just feel like they've been like platformed. That okay, this is how people try to talk about Eminem, but I feel like Eminem actually had to create a catalog, and I might not listen to 10 hours of Eminem, but I feel like he had progression. He actually had depth to what he was saying, and he was an actual rapper. I feel like he wasn't. It was a lot of people that tried to say he was like a person that was platform, but I feel like I feel like for the time it was just like he was probably just the best that was available at the moment. But on the other hand, you have like a 50, and it's like he's okay, but I'm not seeing, like, it's not really his work ethic. It's not like his bars. It's not really nothing that he offering. It's really just he's just in front of the camera more, because, you know, most rappers really don't want to be like, you know, most rappers really weren't entertainers at that time. They were just like a